Sometimes, you guys, sometimes I just wish they would do the announcements while I'm doing my live stream. I just finished it like an hour and a half ago, but the second largest express entry draw ever. Really, this is quite remarkable. I knew that the minister was dragging his feet, and you know, let's bring him on here, because kudos to you, minister. Those who are wondering what the heck was going on, who were starting to get a little bit irritated, were wondering what you were going to do. It's been since January since the minister did a round of invitations. And as we slide over here, and we'll just drop the minister off for a second. I've got a bunch of pages going on here. Let's drop the minister off for a second and head back here. Let's adjust this. We just talked about this. Oh my goodness, I got so much going on here. Bear with me, you guys. I've got problems with my cameras. I got all kinds of issues. This is crazy. So when you look at this, and we'll say goodbye to the tunes. When you look at this, what's going on? It is quite fascinating. So let's go back to the history of rounds. You can see here it is. This is what we're dealing with today, you guys. We have 7,000 issued. And of course, when you issue that number and you haven't done anything for a number of months, well, it's only going to drop down to 490. So 490 is what the last draw was. If we go back to the previous rounds, you can see here that we had on January the 18th, it was also 490, and they did a large one, 5,500. And slowly it had worked its way down. But this here, you can see if we look at all the number of invitations issued, let's sort these. You can see only once did they extend more invitations. And that was the Canadian Experience class, 27,000 back on that magical February the 13th day. But today we're opened up new ground, and it just goes to show that the minister is willing to break with convention. So yes, it only went down to 490, but if we go back and see who was sitting in the pool at the time, that's the thing I love most about this. Today, now it shows the distribution on the day that the invitation was extended. There used to always be a little bit of a lag, but you can see when it was issued, there were 784, which makes sense because they've done PNP, and it seems like every 2 weeks there's another 600-700 PNPs that come into the pool. And then you can see between 500 and 600, 3,216 have been sitting there languishing basically since January when the last draw happened, because they were all flushed out. And even all of these, 491 to 500, these were all flushed out as of that January draw, that no program specified. So in that time period, and if we go back to the rounds again, if we go back to the date when they did that January the 18th draw, 5,500 people. So from January the 18th, basically February, March, so 2 full months, maybe just a little bit under 2 months. This is very illustrative. 2 full months, we basically had another almost 6,000 people come into the pool above 490. So is express entry competitive, you guys? Is it competitive? Heck yeah, it is. Absolutely. And anyone who thinks that coming to Canada is not something that people are looking at all over the world, well, they are sadly mistaken, because that is the case. Now, I want to hear what you guys have to say. I just literally finished my live stream hours ago, and I have another consult that I'm going to do. But I wanted to just, acknowledge that this is, what does this mean? Well, does this mean the last no program specified draw before this fellow right here goes to targeted draws? Maybe. In my live stream today, we talked about the fact, and I love looking up stuff with you guys. It's kind of fun. So let's look here. Let's type in, when does spring start in Calgary? March the 20th is when spring arrives in Canada. And it could be anywhere from the 20th to June 21st is all considered spring in Canada. So you guys, the minister has said in the past that the targeted draws are going to start in the spring. So if the targeted draws are starting in the spring, it could literally be 5 days from now, which could fit within the mold. And what do? We spend all day speculating, right? Seems like that's the story of my life. If he was willing to do one last, at least for a while, no program specified draw, and to extend it to 7,000 people, maybe, just maybe, this is the minister saying that he, in the next draw, is going to start those targeted draws. Spring, March the 20th. What do you think? What do you guys think? All right, we'll drop Minister off here. It's quite funny. I'm going to take a few minutes. I've got a consult with a client that's going to jump in just a few seconds. Sheeta says, LOL. Wow. All right. Javon says needs. Sheeta says it's insane. I think I've answered your question, Tejaswi. I think I've answered it. You know, it could very well be right away. Jeet, good to see you connecting in here. And Pavneet says not 7,000 candidates in CEC pool above 490. No, this is no program specified. So all draws, all programs. This is no program specified. Okay, let's see what other comments are before I wrap this up. Okay, so this is a good question. So Neethu says, I have a CRS score of 492, but have not received the invitation yet. Can I expect the invitation coming through later today? Yes, you can, Neetha. In fact, you could potentially look to receive it like literally while we're on the live stream. So keep checking your email. Check your email. Okay, Bright, good to see you. Good afternoon, Mark. I'm happy to say I finally got my permanent residency. Got it about a month ago. I want to say a big thank you to you, Alicia, and everyone at the Holthe Immigration Law team. And we will absolutely, I'll get my sound effects going here. Give you an applause, Bright. I am so happy for you, my friend. It has been such a long go for you, hasn't it? It sure has. I just love that. She just says, have a feeling there's going to be another big draw. Hey, who knows? Like I said, trying to predict what this fellow's doing is like, I don't know, predicting what? What's almost impossible to predict? To predict with any degree of certainty if my Calgary Flames are going to make the playoffs. Well, I think I can probably predict that one. The answer is no. Okay, Armin says, would have made much more sense if they showed some consistency. I agree. You know, the whole flipping back and forth and these big draws and then making people wait. Yes, I agree. Consistency would be great. Harpreet says, any chance going below 474? I don't think anytime soon, Harpreet, until we see the program specified draws. Kartike is at 461. I think that's just going to be too low if it's a no program specified. If you're a CEC Kartike, then possibly, or you know, a specific program. Pavneet says FSW more preferred than CEC. No, they're not. FSW is most definitely not more preferred than CEC. I think at the end of the day, people that have Canadian work experience are the ones that are actually going to be able to get through and have those high scores. You know, when you're single, you get an extra 40 points for 1 year of Canadian work experience. And so right off the bat, you've got a leg up on anyone outside of the country. Sheeta says, heard there's going to be a postgrad extension announced this month. Well, that's entirely possible, Sheeta, because this fellow right here, let's pull him up again. Minister Fraser here has had a bunch of issues going on for him that he has to deal with. They just keep kicking the can down the line. Kick. I guess it's more this way. Kick. Like this. When it comes to postgrads, because if they're not doing CEC only draws and candidates are not, able to score high enough, even though a lot of people in Canada now are going to have those extra 40 points and beyond. If they're going to not make a clear pathway for international students, then all of these 18-month extensions or whatever they are for postgrads, they're going to continually just, having to do another one and another one and another one. And it's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Okay. Let's see. Chittaranja says, when is the program specified draw? Will be anytime in April. So the minister has said sometime in spring. And like we talked about, when does spring start? We flip back here. We'll pull the minister off. March to June is spring in Canada. So could be any time from there if the minister holds true. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so Rusi, same thing. 473. It's going to be tough. It's really, really competitive. Will it come down to 473? Just not sure. Luvette says, what specific criteria should we be looking up for? Okay, this is a great question. So I want to share something with you. I'm going to go to my firm website. And if you have not yet gone to the Holthe Immigration Law, just go to holthelaw.com. And I think you guys can see this. Let me just see if I can expand this up so you can see it. Let's see if I can pull this down, adjust this way. Okay, there. Okay, you can see at the top there. Sorry, I never really show that search bar, but it's just holthelaw.com. That's the firm. And I just want to show you something on this page once I readjust this back down and then adjust this here so it fits the page. There we go. That's good. Okay, up here, you'll see that I've done a blog. If you have not checked out this blog, absolutely go here. It's called Change, and it's the future of express entry. In here, you guys, I specifically address exactly where I feel Minister Fraser, this fine fellow right here, is going to go and the priorities that he's focusing on. Check all of these out, all of my top 7 things. But at the end, I've actually identified what I consider to be the ideal express entry candidate that will have like a slam dunk when it comes to getting their invitation to apply. So if you look here, you can see a minimum of 3 years of work experience in a targeted industry outside Canada, or 1 year in Canada in a rural community. Now remember, this is like the best of the best candidate who will absolutely have a chance if he goes to targeted draws. Completion of a master's program or a minimum of 2-year programs in Canada in a targeted industry. Do you see what we're talking about? Bilingual in English and French at a minimum CLB level 9. In-demand job offer from a Canadian employer in a rural community, and close to about 29 years of age. So dissecting everything that the minister has talked about over the last, however, like almost a year, really, I guess almost June, I guess, is when he started talking about a lot of these things, these targeted draws. When you dissect all of them, those are kind of the qualifications that I look at. And when you're going through this, you guys, I've broken down 7 different takeaways from this whole process, but the targeted industries, which I kind of allude to here. And also, if you go to my YouTube channel, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the main feature video that you should see popping up as I open this up here. All right, let's see if I can find my feature video here. It's been a while since I've done it. This video right here, the TR to PR pathway, that's got about 48,000 views. This takeaway from the minister's report is essentially the targeted areas that the minister is looking at. And if you go once again to our firm website, I actually have another blog post. And in here, I list other specific industries that the minister is really going to be targeting. So when people say, well, what does this mean for the targeted draws? I look at these ones here in this blog post, and this is the TR to PR top 6 takeaways. So these industries, and then if I flip back here to this, I also address other industries, some that are not listed in this blog post that the minister basically, his TR to PR pathway that he released last year. These are some additional ones that you can consider. So if you have experience in those trades, you guys, then that's likely going to be a pathway that could open up for you. So take a look at those blog posts. But yeah, like I want to just a round of applause to all of you amazing people who were able to get an ITA. And as I'm sitting here, Vishvesh says, hey, Mark, just dropped high. Good to see you. Let's just see here. I just want to get back. We've had so many comments that have dropped in here. So I think I covered that one now, Livette, for you. Let's see here. I want to go back up to the individual who said that they were waiting for a draw. Boy, I've got so many comments here. Okay, let's jump to a few other ones. Malav says, does no program specified draw come under federal high skill category? Yeah, it means everything. Everything that's in there. FSW, federal skilled trade, CEC, any of them. Shashi says, any chance for 470? I think it's going to be tough. I think it is going to be tough. Really tough. Okay, now I've got a bunch of people that are asking questions about express entry. So affidavits, hours of work, what do I do for pay stubs? All of you guys that are asking these questions, Financial auditors, what is the prospects for them? All of you that are asking express entry questions, I want to remind everybody that the express entry course, this bomb, the course of all courses, is open right now. And on Monday, I start my masterclass. And anyone who subscribes to this course, and not just anybody in this particular cohort, but anyone who has subscribed to this course, the express entry course, since the beginning of time, is eligible to come join me in a big open masterclass. It's open to anyone who's subscribed now or previously. Everybody should have received an invitation, but March 20th to the 23rd, those 4 days in a row, I will be going live with a special masterclass for just those who have subscribed to the express entry course. And you can see here, depending on where you're at, the course is about $347 US plus GST. And yes, so you guys can get in there and subscribe. And as you're going through this process, I'm also going to just jump back. If you're wondering what's in here, we cover everything. Go click on the link below. This is your last chance here before the masterclass starts on Monday. We've got just a few days remaining, but absolutely get in here and subscribe, because that course is the one thing that's going to answer more of your questions about express entry than virtually anything else. So those of you who've got lots of specific questions, click on the link and subscribe and join me and I don't know how many people we've had that have registered for it. It's been a while. Okay, Anthony says, any scope for ITA with a score above 500 post Bill C-19? Yes, there is. And if you look at one of the things that I specifically addressed in my blog post that I wrote, number 2 on the list is that no program specified draws will continue. They will. They're not just going to toss out all the no program specified and just focus exclusively on targeted. Now, the minister may only do a couple a year. Maybe he'll do one no program specified, then others he'll do a specified or even a targeted draw. So there's a lot of flexibility that he has because of Bill C-19. Okay, Mr. Khan says, keep up the good work. You're very, very welcome. Thank you. Okay, we'll try to wrap this up. I've got a couple more minutes, and then I've got to get on the review of a response to IRCC that a client has because she'd made mistakes in her application. Oh. And now I need to dive in and help her review before she gets the officers looking at her application and then bouncing it. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. I'm just looking here at my. Looks like Bright had posted something, but I'm not seeing it. Igor sent me something here. Just give me 1 second. I've got Igor kind of working in the background a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Bright had posted something here that was, for some reason, it's held for review. I don't know why it is. Let me see if I can pull it up and post it on the screen. I want to give Bright a big shout out. I'll just stick it on the screen. This is what Bright had said. He said, if there's one thing I can say, purchase the express entry course from Holthe Law. It helped me in my process to submit a detailed application to get my PR in a month and a half. Subscribe to the course. Okay, Bright, be very careful, my friend, because it may have worked that way for you, but not everybody is definitely going to get their PR application processed in a month and a half. And okay, so we got it up there. Okay, thank you so much, Bright. I really appreciate that shout out. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, so David Sharon says the same thing. Any info on the postgrad work permit program? Every year, it seems like they're doing it, guys. The moment we hear anything, I will let you know. 487, I think we've got a real shot at that one there, Flower. I think we do. Tariq, good to see you over on Facebook. Thanks for connecting in. And then Sarah says, can you post your URL website link, please and thanks? So I can do that. So it's just holthelaw.com. But what I'll do is I will just post, I'll just post in these posts. When I post them in the comments, I will stick it in there after, but these should go to Facebook and YouTube, and those 2 sites should. I'll also just post in the comments as well, where you can access the course. And let's see what else we have here. The main site, I will also just pull up a link to the main site, which is just holthelaw.com. And you guys should be able to see these in the comment section as I'm dropping them in there. Yeah, it's just the main website, you guys, is just holthelaw.com. So definitely check that out. And you should be able to see that up on Facebook as well, that same link. Okay. Cheaton, great to see you. Thank you. And hello, everyone. Right back at you. All right. And those of you who are asking specific questions like Banny, please just subscribe to the course and we can cover all of that all in one fell swoop. Okay. Frank says, if you submitted your profile yesterday, will there be a chance you were invited today? I was under FSW 515 points. No invite in my profile yet. Hang tight. You should receive an ITA. You absolutely should. This is no program specified. Usman says, any chance for 475 plus with IT knock? Depends on how far up your pluses go. The minister, we know within IT, there's been layoffs in some industries, but we also know that with the different industries that he's identified within his previous notices, especially the TR to PR, what he had announced with the TR to PR programs. Let's see if I can pull it up on my firm website here as I'm searching through everything. Man, that is the pain and suffering with my search feature. We've got so many blog posts. That's the problem, that it's hard to keep track of everything that is that's transpired. Let's see if I can find it. Guess I've got some older posts here. Just want to pull up my TR to PR. There we go. So if I go here into my post again, and I look at the industries, and you guys are saying, what about my industry? What will work? What won't? You can see what's on here, right? Health, hospitality, transportation, trades and resources, IT, engineering, agri-food, agriculture, construction, professional services, scientific and technical services. And then if we flip over to my other post, oh, I guess I got the wrong one here. We'll go back here, and then I'll go up to my newest posts. See if it'll let me. Not that one, although that's a good post. That's a good blog post. We'll go up here and I will go, actually, I got to go back to newer posts, and I'll go back to the one that I just did right here, change. You can see built within here, as far as industries that he specifically addressed: construction, administrative and support services, waste management and remediation services, healthcare, social assistance, and other services, which is very, very broad. You can see a lot of these scientific and technical, greener digital economies and automation, healthcare, professional services. So you can see these are the occupations that that clearly have been on the radar of the minister. That could very well be the ones that he targets for the targeted draws. Okay, let's see what else we have here as I wrap up. I've got 2 minutes before I jump on my next call. Let's see what else. Malav says, will no program specified draws affect the number of candidates allotted for 2023 immigration plan specific for FHS category? Yes, absolutely. It does. Absolutely. All of those fit within the federal high skill, which includes the federal skilled worker, CEC, and the federal skilled trade program. Okay. I love this. Sahil seems very confident. Yeah, they will not do no program specified draws for 1.5 to 2 months. Score will remain 49 to 490 Gs. It's entirely possible. I don't hold it. I don't try to pretend anything. I think there's a possibility maybe in the next draw, but we'll just have to see what happens. Okay. Yes, that's right, Laura. Scores in the 460s were way back before there were points for siblings, where there were points for French. Those two really changed things significantly. Harry says, what's the prospect of a 364 for CEC in the coming draws till April? Well, that's the interesting part. We just don't know with these strategic targeted draws. Human capital, core human capital is not necessarily going to be the be all and end all, the final story. So, it's entirely possible. And some provinces right now, notifications of interest from Alberta, for instance, can go down as low as 300. Let's see what else we have here. I think we're all hoping that it's not going to be paused again after this draw, but that they'll get back to some normal system, right? Usman, yes, that would be great because it's on our stupid website, my friend. That's what irritates me. Thanks for offering to help. Let's see what else. Yeah, this is Lucy. I don't do Quebec-based immigration. I refer to all of my immigration lawyer, Quebec immigration lawyer colleagues out in Quebec. So I definitely would refer people out there. Let's see here. Yeah, so Ibrahim says 429 marketing major. It's really tough. Really tough. I don't see anything through the, through express entry unless there's some specific targeted draw, but marketing, it's just not one of those areas where traditionally we're seeing shortages, but anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. Yes, amongst us, let me throw my crystal ball out the window. Absolutely. And yes, I'm working out with Igor. I see that you booked a consult. Thank you. It fell right on the date that we are recording our, somehow you booked your consult amongst us with right at the same time that we're recording our next episode of the Canadian Immigration Podcast. And for those of you who didn't attend my live today, if you go to here, you can see on the podcast is on the Canadian Immigration Institute site. You can also go to our website and the podcast is also here. If you click on the podcast or just search for Canadian Immigration Podcast on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts, you can get access to it. And if you haven't listened to this, I challenge you guys to take a look and follow along with our impossible trivia. Tomorrow we're going to be recording episode 104 or 105 it is, but it will be another impossible Canadian trivia. Really, really difficult questions. I think if you haven't listened to it, please do. While you're traveling back and forth to work, listen to the podcast, subscribe to it because we have a lot of fun making that. All right. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I'm a little bit behind. I got to get over to this other client, but thanks so much for connecting in. And remember, as always, the Canadian Immigration Institute is the sponsor, together with Holthe Immigration Law. The DIY courses are the things that allow me to do all of this. So the masterclass with me, March 20th to the 23rd, which is Monday, 4 o'clock. This is going to close up our cart. So make sure that you enroll now if you want to get in on it, especially all of you crazy 7,000 people. There's no better time now to take the Express Entry course than literally now. And remember, as you go through in it, you can see there are over 10 hours, aside from the 4 masterclass times, there are over 10 hours, 642 minutes of premium on-demand video content that covers every single section of the whole course. And I love module 6. It's all about the documents. We have sample documents, checklists, templates, everything you could ever possibly need. And then on top of all of this, I have my masterclass that will start on Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, guys, thanks very much for connecting in. Nappy says, man, I feel good. Well, I'm glad, my friend. I'm really glad you do. Thanks for tuning in, you guys, and we will see you again soon. Take care. Congratulations. There's some applause to all of you that have, received an ITA in this second largest massive Express Entry draw ever. Take care. See you.